Hey there. Tonight, we're traveling back, way back, to a time before borders, before nations as you know them, before written history captured every detail. You're going to step into the sandals of Chief Turquoise, a leader whose name appears in no textbook, whose battles echo in no museum. But tonight you are him. It's approximately by CE. The sun beats down on Red Canyon walls in what will one day be called the American Southwest. But right now it's just home, your people. The Turquoise clan have lived in these stone dwellings for generations. You farmed corn on impossible terrain, hunted with adults your grandfather taught you to craft, and maintained peace with neighboring clans through careful diplomacy and strategic marriages. Until the Coyote people arrived, they came from the northern territories, driven south by drought, by famine, by desperation, and desperation makes people dangerous. What started as a request for refuge has become an uprising. Now you stand at the edge of everything you've built, watching smoke rise from the valley below. So dim the lights, get comfortable. Let me know in the comments where you're listening from and what time it is where you are. Because tonight you're not just learning history, you're living it, you're surviving it. Let's begin. You wake before dawn, as you always do. The air inside your stone dwelling is cool, almost cold, carrying the mineral smell of ancient rock. You are Chief Turquoise, named for the sacred stone you wear around your neck. A dot stone your grandmother placed there when you were 7 summers old, the day your father died in a rock slide. You are 32 winters now, which makes you old by the standards of your people. Most men don't see 25. Your first wife, Rain Blossom, sleeps beside you on the woven mat. Your second wife, Corn Mother, tends the fire in the main chamber. You married Corn Mother 2 years ago to seal an alliance with the River Clan. She is practical, sturdy, and has given you no children. Rain Blossom has given you 2 sons who lived, 1 daughter who didn't. You rise carefully, your knee clicking. That knee took an arrow 5 years ago during a dispute with the Eagle clan over water rights. You negotiated peace before the wound became infected, but the joint has never been quite right since. Some mornings it throbs, this morning it whispers. Outside, the mesa spreads before you, like a table set by gods. Your dwelling sits on the 3rd tier of the cliff face, carved into the rock by your great-great-grandfather. Below, the valley holds your people's fields, corn, beans, squash. The 3 sisters planted together as the ancestors taught. But this morning, something is wrong. You can feel it in your chest before your eyes confirm it. Rises from the southern fields. The descent takes 3 minutes that feel like 30. When you reach the valley floor, you can smell it. Not just wood smoke, but corn smoke. Someone has burned the fields. Not accidentally, not lightning, this is deliberate. The stalks are still green, weeks away from harvest. Burning green corn creates a specific acrid stench that makes your eyes water. You find Gray Fox, your war chief, already standing in the ashes. He is younger than you by 7 winters, broader in the shoulders, and has never lost a single combat. He also has never started one. You chose him carefully for that restraint. A war chief who loves war is a liability, the Coyote people, Gray Fox says without greeting. His voice is flat. He knows what this means, as well as you do. You kneel in the ash, still warm against your skin. The burn pattern is deliberate, radiating outward from 3 separate points. Multiple fire starters, coordinated. This wasn't raiders stealing food. This was a message. 3 months ago, the Coyote people arrived from the north. 47 souls, hungry and desperate. Their lands had failed. Drought had turned their territory into dust. You granted them refuge in the lower valley, against the advice of your council. You remembered the stories your grandmother told of times when the Turquoise clan needed refuge themselves. Now they repay hospitality with fire. The council argues for 3 hours. You listen more than you speak, which is another lesson your grandmother taught you. A chief with a loud mouth leads dead warriors. Old Spider wants immediate war, despite his blindness, or perhaps because of it. He sees clearly what this conflict means. They insult us. They spit on hospitality. If we don't answer fire with fire, every clan from here to the Great River will know the turquoise. Clan are cowards. 3 Rivers agrees, though his reasoning is more practical. That was 2 weeks of food. They burned. We have surplus, yes, but winter is coming. Every kernel matters. Shell Song argues for negotiation. They are desperate. Perhaps they burned the fields out of fear, thinking we would drive them away before harvest. Perhaps we can still talk. Young Hawk laughs bitterly. You don't negotiate by burning food. You negotiate by bringing gifts, Morning Star. Your nephew says nothing. He watches you, waiting to see which way you'll lean. You taught him this too. When uncertain, observe. Finally you speak, Gray Fox. How many warriors do we have? 53 who can fight, 32 with real experience, and the Coyote people? 24 men of fighting age. But they're hungry. Desperate. That makes them dangerous. You nod slowly. The fire has burned down to coals. We have more warriors, more food, more weapons. We have the high ground and the home terrain. In every way that matters for war, we are stronger. You pause. So we will not go to war. The council erupts. Even Gray Fox looks confused. You raise your hand again. We will not go to them. We will make them come to us. And when they do, we will be ready. You spend the next 2 days preparing, not for attack, but for siege. Your people have lived in these cliff dwellings for 5 generations, precisely because they are defensible. The ancestor people who built them understood warfare. They carved their homes into rock faces, specifically to prevent enemies from easy access. You order the lower valley evacuated. Every soul moves up to the cliff dwellings. It's crowded. Your people grumble. Children cry at the disruption. Old men complain about climbing the handholds. But they obey because they trust you, or because they fear what's coming. Both work. Gray Fox organizes the warriors into watches, 12-hour shifts, 4 men per position. He places lookouts at the 3 main approaches to the mesa. Anyone trying to reach the cliff dwellings must cross open ground, visible for a half-day's walk. You inventory supplies with 3 rivers. The burned field hurts. Yes, but you have stores. Corn from last year, dried beans, squash sealed in clay jars. Water is less secure. The mesa has 1 spring, reliable, sacred, but with limited output. If the siege lasts more than 2 moons, thirst becomes a problem. Shell Song organizes the women and children. They gather stones, thousands of them, fist-sized and larger, and war. The cliff dwellings become fortresses. Attackers climbing the handholds make easy targets for stones dropped from above. Shell Song was 12 winters old during the last war with the Eagle clan. She remembers. On the 3rd morning you wake to Gray Fox shaking your shoulder. They're coming, he says simply. You dress quickly and climb to the highest point of the mesa. In the valley below, a line of figures moves through the pre-dawn gray. Not 24 warriors. More. Many more. The Coyote people have found allies. You count them 3 times to be certain. 67 warriors. The Coyote people's 24, plus 43 more. You recognize the markings. The Scorpion clan from 3 valleys east. They're wearing their clan colors, yellow ochre paint, scorpion tail patterns on their shields. Gray Fox appears beside you, breathing hard from the climb. He counts silently, his lips moving. When he reaches the same number you did, he curses, one of the few times you've heard him do so. The Scorpions hate us, he says. It's not a question. The scorpions hate everyone, you reply. But yes, especially us. The history goes back before your chieftainship. 20 years ago, the Scorpion clan tried to claim the sacred springs, the water source that feeds all three valleys. Your father, then chief, refused. The dispute nearly became war. Instead, it became a contest, 3 chosen warriors from each clan, fighting until submission. Your father chose well. The Turquoise warriors won. The Scorpions have nursed that grievance ever since. Now, the Coyote people have given them an excuse for revenge, wrapped in the respectability of aiding refugees. They'll reach the Mesa base by noon, Gray Fox calculates. Then they'll have to decide, attack immediately while they're fresh, or make camp and rest. You watch the approaching force. They move in a loose formation. No discipline. The Coyote people are at the front, the Scorpions hanging back. That tells you something important. This alliance is fragile. The Scorpions are using the Coyote people's grievance as justification, but they don't trust each other enough to integrate their forces. We wait, you say. Let them exhaust themselves on our walls. Every hour they wait in the valley, sun is an hour they grow thirstier, hungrier, more divided. The enemy reaches the Mesa base at noon, as Gray Fox predicted. You watch from above as they mill about in the heat, arguing. Even from this distance, you can read their body language. The Coyote people point up at the cliff dwellings, gesturing urgently. The Scorpion warriors shake their heads, unwilling to climb immediately in the midday sun. Smart. Plus, the handholds are exposed, no shade. Climbing in noon heat invites heat exhaustion. You've seen warriors faint on those holds and fall to their deaths. It's a long way down. They make camp hastily without much organization. They dig a few fire pits, spread bedrolls, pass water skins. You note with satisfaction that they have limited supplies. They came expecting a quick raid, not a siege. Shell Song approaches you, walking carefully on the narrow ledge. She carries a basket of dried meat. The children are frightened, she says. The mothers too, though they hide it better. Good, you reply. Fear makes you careful. She hands you a strip of jerky. You haven't eaten since dawn. You accept it gratefully, chewing the tough meat slowly. It's pronghorn from a hunt last month. Young hawks kill. Will they attack today? Shell Song asks. You shake your head. They're exhausted. They'll attack tomorrow at dawn, when the rocks are still cool and their muscles are rested. And we'll be ready. We'll be ready. She stands beside you for a moment, both of you watching the enemy camp below. You've known Shell Song since childhood. She was the girl who pushed you into the creek when you were 8. She laughed when you came up sputtering. You married her cousin. These connections, these threads of life woven together are what you're defending, not just territory or food or pride, the people themselves. How many will die tomorrow? She asks quietly. You don't lie to her. Too many. That night, you don't sleep. Few people do. The cliff dwellings are lit by small fires, casting orange light against ancient stone. Children huddle with their mothers. Warriors check weapons, sharpen blades, test spear points. Old Spider performs ceremonies, burning sacred herbs, chanting in the language of the ancestors. You make rounds, visiting each family group. It's important they see you calm. A chief's fear spreads like sickness. A chief's confidence becomes armor. You find Rain Blossom with your sons. Your eldest, Tall Pine, is 14. Almost a man, old enough to fight. He sits with the warriors, pretending he's not terrified. Your younger son, Little Fox, is 11. Too young for war, but old enough to understand what's coming. He watches you with huge eyes. You kneel beside them. Rain Blossom touches your hand, her grip tight. Tell them a story, she whispers, like you did when they were small. So you tell them about the ancestor, people who built these dwellings, how they carved rooms from solid rock, using only stone tools and patience, how they survived droughts that lasted decades, how they fought off raiders and wild animals and starvation itself, how they endured. We are their children, you say. Their blood flows in us. Their strength is our strength. Tomorrow, when the sun rises, remember that these walls have defended our people for longer than anyone can count. These walls will defend us still. Little Fox leans against you. He smells like smoke and childhood. You hold him, this boy who might lose his father tomorrow, and you silently promise the ancestors that you will fight like they taught you. Not with rage, but with patience. Not with hate, but with love for what you're defending. Tall Pine catches your eye. He nods once, trying to be brave. You nod back and see his shoulders straighten slightly. Small victories. Dawn comes too quickly. The sky shifts from black to gray to the pale blue of morning. You stand at the highest vantage point, watching the enemy camp stir to life. They move with purpose now. The night has given them organization, or at least the illusion of it. Gray Fox appears, having slept in his armor. He looks like he always does, impassive, ready. Defensive position secured, he reports. Stones stockpiled. Lookouts placed. We're as ready as we'll be. Below, the enemy forms into 3 groups. The Coyote people will attempt the main handhold route, the widest, most obvious path up the cliff. The Scorpions split into 2 groups, attempting the north and south approaches, dividing their forces. Interesting choice. It prevents you from concentrating all your defenses on one route, but it also fragments their attack strength. They're not coordinating, Gray Fox observes. Look, the Coyote group is moving before the others are ready. He's right. The Coyote people start climbing while the Scorpion forces are still organizing. Their desperation overrides tactical sense. They want this done. You watch the first climbers begin their ascent. It's difficult climbing, handholds spaced irregularly, requiring strength and balance. The ancestor. People designed it this way deliberately. Every foot of elevation is earned. When the lead climber reaches 30 feet, high enough to injure if he falls, not high enough to kill, you give the signal. Shellsong's women appear at the cliff edge, baskets of stones in hand. They look down at the climbers, measuring distance with practiced eyes. Then they drop the first stones. The rocks fall with a sound like hail, whistling down, bouncing off stone faces, gaining speed. The lead climber sees them coming, tries to press himself flat against the rock. 2 stones miss. The third catches him in the shoulder. You hear his cry even from this distance. He loses his grip, slides down 10 feet before catching another handhold. Below him, other climbers scramble aside as he nearly knocks them loose. The battle develops into a grim rhythm. Climb, drop stones, retreat. Climb again, drop more stones, retreat again. The Coyote people show remarkable determination. Each time they're driven back, they regroup and try once more. You count 7 separate attempts in the first 2 hours, but determination without tactics is just exhaustion. By mid-morning, the Coyote people are spent. Several warriors nurse injuries, broken arms, gashed heads, sprained ankles from awkward falls. 2 didn't get up after falling from higher positions. You can see their bodies at the cliff base, twisted wrong. The Scorpion clan has more discipline. They attempt the north and south routes simultaneously, forcing you to split your defensive forces. Gray Fox commands the north defense. You take the south. Young Hawk coordinates the center against the Coyote people. On the south route, you kneel at the cliff edge beside 3 warriors, each with a pile of fist-sized stones. The Scorpion climbers are methodical, using leather shields to deflect smaller rocks. Smart. It slows them down, but it protects them. Larger stones you order. Aim for the shields. Break them. Your warriors comply. selecting head-sized rocks. They lift these above their shoulders and hurl them down with both hands. The impact is devastating. One shield shatters completely. The warrior carrying it has no choice but to retreat. Climbing exposed is suicide. But one scorpion warrior makes it to 50 feet, then 60. He's fast and agile, using the shield only when necessary, moving when the defenders are selecting new stones. You watch him climb, impressed despite yourself. He's perhaps 20 winters old, wearing the yellow ochre paint of his clan across his chest and face. He reaches 70 feet. At this height, you can see his expression: fierce concentration, no fear. He'll reach the ledge in minutes if nobody stops him. You make a decision, you pick up a spear. The battle develops into a grim rhythm. Climb, drop stones, retreat. Climb again, drop more stones, retreat again. The Coyote people show remarkable determination. Each time they're driven back, they regroup and try once more. You count 7 separate attempts in the first 2 hours, but determination without tactics is just exhaustion. By mid-morning, the Coyote people are spent. Several warriors nurse injuries, broken arms, gashed heads, sprained ankles from awkward falls. 2 didn't get up after falling from higher positions. You can see their bodies at the cliff base, twisted wrong. The Scorpion clan has more discipline. They attempt the north and south routes simultaneously, forcing you to split your defensive forces. Gray Fox commands the north defense. You take the south. Young Hawk coordinates the center against the Coyote people. On the south route, you kneel at the cliff edge beside 3 warriors, each with a pile of fist-sized stones. The Scorpion climbers are methodical, using leather shields to deflect smaller rocks. Smart. It slows them down, but it protects them. Larger stones you order. Aim for the shields. Break them. Your warriors comply, selecting head-sized rocks. They lift these above their shoulders and hurl them down with both hands. The impact is devastating. One shield shatters completely. The warrior carrying it has no choice but to retreat. Climbing exposed is suicide. But one Scorpion warrior makes it to 50 feet, then 60. He's fast and agile, using the shield only when necessary, moving when the defenders are selecting new stones. You watch him climb, impressed despite yourself. He's perhaps 20 winters old, wearing the yellow ochre paint of his clan across his chest and face. He reaches 70 feet. At this height, you can see his expression: fierce concentration, no fear. He'll reach the ledge in minutes if nobody stops him. You make a decision, you pick up a spear. You've never killed a man face to face. You've ordered deaths, yes. You fought in battles, wounded opponents, made tactical decisions that resulted in enemy casualties. But you've never looked into a warrior's eyes and taken his life with your own hands. Until today, the young Scorpion warrior pulls himself up onto the ledge, rolling immediately to avoid stones. He's up on his feet in a heartbeat, shield raised, stone knife drawn. He sees you and recognizes what you are. The war paint, the turquoise pendant, the way the other warriors defer to you. His eyes widen slightly. "Chief," he says, not a greeting, just acknowledged. You raise your spear. Go back down. Don't die for someone else's grievance. For a moment, you think he might listen. He's young enough to still believe life is precious. Old enough to have seen death up close. But then his jaw sets. "I can't." "You can. Just climb back down. We'll let you go." He shakes his head. "My clan would call me coward. My father would disown me. I'd rather die than live with that shame. You understand. You don't agree, but you understand. I get honor and shame. These are the chains that bind men more tightly than rope." He lunges. Fast. His knife aims for your throat. You sidestep and bring the spear shaft down on his wrist. Bone cracks. He doesn't cry out, but his knife falls from nerveless fingers. He tries to punch you with his other hand. But you're older, more experienced, and you've been in more fights than he's had winters. Your spear point finds the gap between his ribs. You feel the moment it enters, the resistance, then the soft give of internal organs. He gasps, his eyes meeting yours, surprise, not hate. "I'm sorry," you say. And you mean it. He slides off your spear and falls backward off the ledge. The drop takes him back down the cliff face. You don't watch him hit bottom. The first day of battle ends at sunset. The enemy retreats to their camp, carrying their wounded. You count the cost. 8 Scorpion warriors dead or too injured to fight. 6 Coyote warriors similarly out of action. Your people suffered less. 3 serious injuries, no deaths. The cliff dwellings earned their reputation, but you lost something harder to quantify. You killed a boy barely out of childhood because he was too proud to retreat. You'll see his face in dreams. You already know this. Gray Fox finds you sitting alone on a narrow ledge, watching the sun sink behind distant mesas. He sits beside you without asking permission. That's one of the things you value about him. He knows when formality is unnecessary. "Good first day," he says. "They'll think twice about climbing tomorrow." You don't answer immediately. The young warrior's words echo. "I'd rather die than live with that shame." How many men believe this? How many deaths spring from pride disguised as honor? How old was he, you ask? Gray Fox doesn't need to ask who, 20, maybe 21. Younger son of the Scorpion Chief. His older brother leads their southern group, younger son, trying to prove himself, trying to earn respect in his father's shadow. You understand that motivation too. You were also a younger son once before your older brother died of infection from a tooth that went bad. "Tomorrow they'll try harder," Gray Fox continues. "They've seen our defenses now. They'll adapt. Let them. We have water, food, high ground, and patience. They have none of these things. They have desperation. That's dangerous." You look at him. "Everything about this is dangerous." He nods. "Then why do I feel like we're doing the right thing?" It's a good question. You think about it while the sky deepens from orange to purple, because defending home is always right, even when the cost is high. Second day begins before dawn. You're awakened by a sound that doesn't belong, a soft scraping like stone on stone. You're up instantly, spear in hand, moving silently through the dark dwelling. The scraping comes from below. Someone is climbing in darkness. You reach the ledge and peer over carefully. Far below, barely visible in the pre-dawn, black figures move. They're climbing the south route again in darkness. Foolish. One misstep means death, but also clever. Your people are still waking. Defenses not yet fully manned. You wake Gray Fox with a touch to his shoulder. His eyes open immediately, warrior reflexes engaging. You gesture down. He looks, understands, moves to rouse the southern defenders. By the time the first enemy climber reaches 50 feet, your warriors are in position. But the darkness makes defense difficult. You can hear the climbers but barely see them. Dropping stones risks hitting nothing but empty air. Then Old Spider appears, moving through the dwelling with the confidence of the blind, in familiar territory. He carries a clay pot filled with oil and strips of cloth. Without speaking, he hands it to you. You understand immediately. You soak the cloth strips in oil, wrap them around stone projectiles, and light them with a flint spark. The flames catch yellow and hungry in the darkness. You hurl the first flaming stone. It arcs through the pre-dawn sky like a falling star. The flames illuminate everything as it falls. The cliff face. The climbers pressed against the rock, their startled faces turned up. The stone strikes the cliff face beside a climber. The oil splashes, ignites. For a few seconds, the rock itself seems to burn. The climber scrambles sideways, desperate to avoid the flames. He moves too fast, reaches for a handhold that's farther than he judged. His fingers slip. He falls, screaming. The sound cuts off abruptly. More flaming stones follow. The dawn becomes a A meteor shower of fire. The flaming stones break the night. The remaining climbers retreat, some sliding down in controlled falls, others taking their chances with dangerous speed. By the time real dawn arrives, the cliff face is empty again, marked with scorched stains where oil burned against ancient rock. 3 more enemy bodies lie at the cliff base. You try not to calculate how many parents will grieve these deaths. A chief can't afford that kind of thinking during battle. But in quieter moments, you can't help it. Gray Fox organizes a count. The enemy has now lost 12 warriors, 8 from yesterday, 4 from the night attack. That's 12 out of 67. Sustainable losses if they achieve victory soon, devastating if the siege drags on. Your people remain intact. 5 injured now, none seriously. The cliff dwellings are doing their job. At mid-morning, something changes. You watch from your vantage point as 3 figures detach from the enemy camp and walk toward the mesa base. They carry no weapons. White bird feathers hang from their arms, the traditional signal for parley. They want to talk, Gray Fox says. He sounds surprised. You're not surprised. You've been waiting for this. 12 dead warriors are 12 families destroyed. At some point, even the most eager warriors begin to wonder if the cause is worth the cost. Shall I go down? Gray Fox asks. You shake your head. I'll go. Choose 3 warriors to accompany me. Armed, but no aggression unless they attack first. Gray Fox selects the warriors. Young men, but seasoned. They dress quickly, paint fresh, spears sharp. You descend the cliff face with them, your knee protesting each step down. By the time you reach the valley floor, you're breathing hard and the knee throbs. The 3 enemy representatives wait in neutral ground, far enough from their camp for your safety, far enough from your cliff for theirs. You recognize one immediately, the older brother of the boy you killed. He wears yellow ochre paint like his brother did. His face could be carved from stone. The parley begins with ritual. You each state your names and lineages, 3 generations back, as is proper. It establishes you as men of families, of histories, of worth beyond just bodies to be killed. The elder brother's name is Broken Spear. His grandfather killed a bear with a broken spear shaft. Thus, the name. Good lineage, warrior tradition. The 2 men with him are Raincloud and Dustwalker, both Coyote people. Raincloud does most of the talking for his people. We come for terms, Raincloud says. His voice is tired. He's perhaps 40 winters old for a warrior. Deep lines frame his mouth. Our people cannot continue this fight, then leave, you reply simply. Walk north or east or west. Just leave. We have nowhere to go. The northern territories are dust. The eastern clans have closed their borders. We came to you seeking life, not war. You burned our fields. We were desperate. We thought you would drive us out before winter. We acted from fear. You study him. He's not lying. Fear makes people stupid. You've seen it 100 times. So you allied with the Scorpions. That wasn't fear. That was ambition. Broken Spear speaks for the first time. His voice is low, controlled. My people have grievances with yours. The Coyote Alliance gave us opportunity to settle them by killing my people. As you killed my brother, there it is, the heart of it. You meet his eyes directly. Your brother was brave. He climbed well. I offered him a chance to retreat. He chose to fight. And you chose to kill him. Yes, I did, because he was on my wall, threatening my people. I would make the same choice tomorrow. Broken Spear's jaw tightens, but he doesn't look away. There's respect in that, acknowledging ugly truth without flinching. What terms would you accept? The Coyote people leave immediately. You provide 10 warriors as hostages until they're gone. The Scorpion clan withdraws to your own territory and swears no raids for 5 years. Raincloud looks stricken. We can't leave with nothing. We'll starve. Then you should have thought of that before burning our fields. The parley stretches for 2 hours. The sun climbs. Heat builds, and still you negotiate. Raincloud argues. Broken Spear makes threats thinly veiled as observations. You remain firm, not out of cruelty, but calculation. You cannot appear weak. Weakness invites future attacks. Finally, Broken Spear proposes a modification. 1 moon. Give the Coyote people 1 moon's worth of food supplies. In exchange, we withdraw immediately. No hostages, no tribute, just supplies and peace. That's our food. You point out. Food we'll need for winter. You have surplus. You said so in council 3 days ago. You pause. How does he know what you said in council? Then you understand someone in your clan has been talking. Not necessarily betrayal, maybe just careless words, overheard and reported. But information has leaked. That's dangerous. You file that concern away for later. Right now, you have a decision to make. 1 moon supplies means approximately 30 large baskets of corn, dried beans, dried meat, and preserved squash. It's significant, but not crippling. You'll have enough for winter, though margins will be tight. In exchange, this war ends. No more deaths. No more scared children. No more fathers killing other fathers' sons. You look at Raincloud. His desperation is naked now, all pretense stripped away. His people really are starving. You remember your grandmother's stories of when the Turquoise clan fled drought. Some other chief gave them refuge. That kindness echoes through generations, but kindness must be balanced with strength. Agreed, you finally say. 1 moon supplies. But the Coyote people leave before the supplies are given. You walk east to the Canyon of Red Rocks. Once you're established there, we deliver food. 3 deliveries over 10 days. If you attack or return the deliveries, stop. Raincloud sags with relief. Agreed. Broken Spear nods slowly. And my people, your people leave immediately, today. And yes, 5 years peace, sworn before witnesses from both clans. 3 years. 4. Agreed. Terms are sworn formally. Old Spider descends from the cliff dwellings, accompanied by the Scorpion Shaman. An ancient woman named Wise Crow. Together they perform the peace ceremony, binding both clans to the agreement, with oaths sworn to the sun, the earth, and the ancestors. You slit your palm with a stone knife. Broken Spear does the same. Your blood mingles in a clay bowl, then is poured onto the earth. The oil and the earth. The oil way of sealing oaths. Blood is life. Broken blood, shared blood, is sacred trust. Breaking such an oath invites the anger of every ancestor who ever lived. The ceremony takes until noon. By the time it's done, the enemy camp is already breaking down. The Coyote people move with desperate efficiency, gathering what little they own. The Scorpion warriors help, roughly, but they help. Even enemies can find common humanity in the presence of the truly desperate. You watch from the cliff edge as the 2 groups separate. The Scorpion warriors head northeast back toward their own territory. You count them as they go. 54 warriors. You killed or wounded 13. That's 1 in 5. Not crushing, but significant, though. Remember this cost. The Coyote people head east as agreed. Raincloud leads them. 41 souls total. More than half are women and children. They look like refugees in every sense. Gaunt, tired, carrying possessions in bundles. Children riding on their parents' backs. Shellsong appears beside you. We're really giving them food after they burned our fields? We are. Some of the council won't like it. They'll accept it. We have peace. That's worth 30 baskets of corn. She considers this. You're kinder than I would be. You shake your head. Not kind, strategic. Refugees with full bellies don't come back to raid. Refugees who leave here starving. They'll hate us forever, and hatred breeds violence. This way, maybe we plant the seeds of future friendship instead. That's very wise, she says quietly. My grandmother was wise. I just listened. The next 10 days pass in careful routine. Your people repair what damage the siege caused, primarily psychological. Children who cowered in fear need time to laugh again. Warriors who expected to die need time to relax their constant vigilance. You spend time with each family group, listening, reassuring, being present. Your own family needs attention too. Tall Pine barely speaks for 3 days after the siege ends. He stood with the warriors, saw men die, heard screaming, felt the fear. He's no longer a boy, but he's not quite a man either. He exists in that terrible space between. You take him hunting, just the two of you, climbing the mesas beyond the cliff dwellings. You hunt pronghorn, which requires patience, stealth, and skill. You don't catch anything. The herds are skittish from the recent human activity. But that's not the point. At sunset, you sit with Tall Pine on a red rock outcropping, watching the sky turn colors. I thought I was ready, he says suddenly, to fight, to be a warrior. But when it actually happened, he trails off. You were afraid, you finish for him. He nods miserably. Good, you say. Fear means you understand the stakes. Warriors without fear are dangerous to their own people because they don't value life properly. But you weren't afraid. I was terrified. You correct him. Every moment of that battle, I was afraid. Afraid for our people. Afraid I'd make the wrong decision. Afraid I'd get someone killed through stupidity or weakness. Fear never leaves. Tall Pine. You just learn to act despite it. He absorbs this. Did you think about the men you killed? You don't lie to him. Every night since, I see their faces, the young scorpion warrior especially. He was barely older than you. Do the faces ever go away? No, you say quietly. That's the price of leadership. You carry the dead with you. It makes you careful. It makes you count the cost before choosing violence. On the third day, you make the first food delivery to the Coyote people. Gray Fox accompanies you with 10 warriors, carrying 10 large baskets of corn, beans, and dried meat. It's a significant load. Each basket weighs as much as a small child and requires 2 men to carry. The journey takes half a day. The canyon of red rocks sits 2 valleys east, a place of towering stone formations and sparse vegetation. The Coyote people have established a temporary camp in a protected alcove. It's a good location, shelter from wind, access to a small spring, defensible approaches. Rain Cloud meets you at the camp perimeter. He looks better than he did during the parley, still gaunt, but no longer quite so desperate. Hope does wonders for a man's appearance. You came, he says. Simple words, but the relief in his voice is profound. I gave my word. The Turquoise clan honors oaths. You supervise as your warriors unload the baskets. Coyote people emerge from the camp. Women, children, elderly. They stare at the food with naked hunger. It breaks something in you, seeing that hunger. You remember your grandmother's stories too well. Rain Cloud's wife approaches, a woman named Quiet Stream. She's thin, so thin her bones show at her shoulders and wrists. She carries an infant, maybe 6 months old. The baby doesn't cry. That's bad. Healthy babies cry. This one is too weak. Thank you, Quiet, Stream whispers. Her eyes fill with tears. You nod, throat tight. You've seen what starvation does. It's cruel in ways that war is not. War kills quickly. Hunger kills slowly, taking children and elderly first, leaving the strong to watch helplessly. The next delivery comes in 3 days. You tell Rain Cloud. Same amount. After that, 1 more delivery, and the obligation is fulfilled. We won't forget this, Rain Cloud says. The Coyote people will remember the Turquoise clan's mercy. Gray Fox leans close and whispers, we should leave. Too many of them, too few of us. He's right, you're deep in their territory, outnumbered. If they chose to attack, you'd have trouble fighting your way out. But you don't think they will. Desperate people who receive food don't kill their benefactors. That would be insane. Still, You don't linger.
That night, you call another council meeting. Not in the Kiva this time. The siege is over. The sacred space not needed. Instead, you meet on the mesa top under stars, the way chiefs did in the oldest times. The issue at hand, the information leak. Someone spoke about your council discussions. The enemy knew details they shouldn't have known. That can't happen again. You explain the situation carefully. During the parley, Broken Spear mentioned decisions made in council, private council. That means someone talked. The council members look at each other uncomfortably. Morning Star, your nephew, speaks first. Maybe they guessed, made assumptions. You shake your head. He was too specific. He mentioned surplus food, which we discussed 3 days before the siege. That's not common knowledge. Are you accusing one of us? Blackstone asks. His voice is defensive. No. But I am saying that someone, maybe not in this circle, but someone connected to someone here, is careless with words, or worse, deliberately sharing information. Shellsong frowns. Who benefits from leaked information? None of our people would want to help the enemy. Not help, you clarify, but maybe someone talked to a friend who talked to a trading partner who happened to mention it to someone who knew someone in the Scorpion clan. Information travels. We must be more careful. Old Spider taps his medicine staff on the stone. The wind carries words to ears we don't expect. Since the ancestor times, chiefs have known important words stay in important places. Casual words create casual disasters. It's a gentle rebuke. He's right. The council has been lax about keeping deliberations truly private. You've allowed too many family members too close during discussions. That ends now. New rule, you announce. Council meetings are council only. No family members nearby. No servants within earshot. We speak in the Kiva or in open spaces where we can see approaching ears.
The second food delivery happens 3 days later without incident. The third and final delivery comes 3 days after that. Raincloud receives each shipment with solemn gratitude. The Coyote people are eating regularly now. Children's laughter returns to their camp. The infant you saw, Quiet Stream's baby, cries lustily when you make the final delivery. It's the most beautiful sound you've heard in weeks. This concludes our obligation. You tell Raincloud formally. The oath is fulfilled, more than fulfilled, he replies. You saved my people. We won't forget. You want to believe him, but you've lived long enough to know that today's gratitude becomes tomorrow's forgotten history. People remember grievances longer than kindness. Still you hope. Hope is what separates a good chief from a merely effective one. On the journey back from the final delivery, Gray Fox walks beside you in comfortable silence. Finally, he speaks. You think they'll raid us again? Eventually? Maybe? Probably not these people. Raincloud seems honorable. But their children? Their grandchildren? Who knows what stories they'll tell? Whether they'll remember we fed them, or only remember that we drove them from the valley. Cheerful thought. You smile slightly. A chief's thoughts are rarely cheerful. When you return to the cliff dwellings, a visitor waits. A young woman from the River Clan. Your second wife's people. She brings news. The River Clan chief, Silverfish, wants to discuss trade agreements. Specifically, he wants to formalize a trading relationship now that you've demonstrated your ability to defend your territory and negotiate peace. Word has spread fast. News of your siege, your victory, your negotiated settlement. All of it has traveled the trading networks. Other clans are taking notice. The Turquoise clan is no longer seen as weak or isolated. You've proven yourselves. This is good. This is exactly what you wanted. Strength invites alliances. Weakness invites predation. But it also means expectations. Now, when other clans face threats, they'll look to you. They'll expect you to help, to lead, to make decisions that affect more than just your own people. The weight of it settles on your shoulders like a physical thing. 2 days later, you travel to the River Clan territory to meet with Silverfish. It's a full day's walk, following the river canyon through increasingly lush terrain. The River Clan lives well. Their territory includes the best agricultural land in the region, fed by springs that never fail. Silverfish greets you formally. He's older than you by perhaps 10 winters, and his weight shows his clan's prosperity. In times of scarcity, fat is a status symbol. Silverfish wears his status comfortably. His compound is impressive, larger than your cliff dwellings, with multiple structures and a central plaza. You count perhaps 200 souls in his clan. That's significant population. The meeting happens in his council chamber, open air but roofed. Corn Mother attends since this is her birth clan. Her presence here signals family connection, which strengthens the negotiation. Silverfish offers food first: corn cakes, beans, fresh squash, dried fish from the river. It's excessive, deliberately so. He's showing abundance, saying without words, "We have more than we need." You accept the hospitality, eating slowly, knowing this dance, after food comes talk. The Turquoise clan has made quite a name. Silverfish begins. Defeating the Scorpion clan, negotiating peace, feeding refugees. People always talk, you reply neutrally, true. But they're saying interesting things. They're saying Chief Turquoise thinks 3 moves ahead, that he fights when necessary but prefers solutions that don't spill blood. You wait, there's more coming. Silverfish leans forward. I need a chief who thinks that way. My traders travel far. East to the Great River, west to the Salt Flats, north to the pine forests. They bring back goods, but they also bring back news. And the news isn't good. What news? The northern territories are collapsing. Not just drought, though that's part of it. The whole system is failing. More refugees will come, like the Coyote people, but worse, hundreds, maybe thousands. They'll sweep south looking for food and water. You absorb this. How soon? Maybe 2 years? Maybe 2 moons? Hard to say. But it's coming. Silverfish's warning changes everything. A few dozen refugees like the Coyote people you can handle. But hundreds? Thousands? The entire valley system would collapse under that weight. Not enough food, not enough water, not enough land. What are you proposing, you ask? Alliance. Formal, sworn alliance between our clans and others. Pool resources. Create shared defenses. Establish protocols for handling refugees. Who gets accepted, where they settle, how we share the burden. That's complicated. But better complicated than dead, Silverfish says bluntly. The Scorpion clan already reached out to me. They want in on the alliance too. You blink, the Scorpion clan, we just fought them. Exactly. And they learned you're dangerous when provoked, but reasonable when approached properly. Broken Spear spoke well of you after the parley, said you could have demanded tribute, hostages, humiliation. Instead, you took a practical peace. That's the kind of leader we need. You glance at Corn Mother. She nods slightly. She knows Silverfish better than you do. If he says this is necessary, it probably is. Her clan's prosperity comes from smart trading and careful alliances. They don't take risks unless the alternative is worse. What about the Eagle clan, you ask, naming another major clan in the region? Silverfish's expression sours slightly. The Eagles are old-fashioned. They believe each clan should stand alone. They'll come around eventually once reality hits them, but we can't wait for them. You think about this. An alliance means obligations. It means sending warriors to defend other clans' territory. It means sharing food during shortage. It means your decisions affect more than just your own people. But it also means not facing the coming storm alone. I need to consult my council, you say. Finally. Of course, but don't take too long. Events are moving fast. You return to your cliff dwellings the next day, mind churning with Silverfish's proposal. That night, you call a full council meeting. Not just the 7 usual members, but expanded to include all the adult clan members who have standing. 23 people in total. This decision is too big for 7 voices alone. The kiva is crowded, smoky, warm with body heat. You explain Silverfish's proposal carefully, leaving out nothing. The northern collapse, the coming refugees, the alliance proposal, the Scorpion clan's unexpected involvement. The debate lasts until deep into the night. Voices rise and fall, arguments clash, perspectives shift. Young Hawk is against it. Alliances mean we lose control. What if the alliance demands we take in refugees we can't feed? What if they demand our warriors for battles we don't care about? Three Rivers supports it. Alone, we're vulnerable. Together, we're strong. That's basic survival. Shellsong, Shong asks practical questions. How are decisions made in this alliance? One chief, one vote? Or do larger clans get more say? Morning Star, your nephew, surprises you. I think we should join, not because I trust the other clans, but because the alternative is worse. If thousands of refugees come south, they'll war over every water source, every cornfield. We'll be fighting constantly. An alliance lets us manage the crisis together instead of being overwhelmed separately. It's a mature analysis. You feel pride in him. Old Spider speaks last, as is his right as eldest. I have lived through 3 droughts, 2 clan wars, and the fever that killed half our children 20 winters ago. I have seen our people on the edge of extinction. We survived because some chief before your time, made alliances when it mattered. The ancestors whisper to me. They say, survive together or die alone. The vote is 16 in favor, 7 against. Not unanimous, but clear enough. You stand. Then we join the alliance. I'll meet with Silverfish and formalize the terms. 3 days later, you meet with Silverfish again. This time, 3 other clan chiefs attend. Silverfish of the River Clan, Broken Spear's father Stone Scorpion of the Scorpion Clan, and High Cloud of the Mesa Clan. Notably absent, the Eagle Clan. The meeting happens on neutral ground, a sacred site halfway between territories, a place where the ancestor people once held gatherings. Ancient petroglyphs cover the rock walls, spirals, handprints, mysterious symbols that predate anyone's memory. Stone Scorpion is an old man, perhaps 60 winters, impossibly ancient. His face resembles cracked earth, but his eyes are sharp, missing nothing. He looks at you with an expression you can't quite read. Your warriors killed 3 of my nephews and 2 of my sons, he says without preamble, including the youngest. Broken Spear told me you offered him a chance to retreat. My son chose honor over life. That's on him, not you. You nod slowly, understanding this is as close to peace as you'll get. But, Stone Scorpion continues, we're now bound by oath. My clan won't raid yours. Your clan won't raid mine, and together we defend these valleys against whatever comes from the north. Agreed? Agreed. High Cloud of the Mesa Clan speaks for the first time. She's a woman of middle years, lean and weathered, with gray hair in complex braids. Her clan controls the high mesa country west of your territory. My scouts confirm Silverfish's intelligence. The northern territories are emptying. We've already seen small groups passing through. Heading further south, the trickle will become a flood. How do we handle it, you ask? We can't fight them all, but we can't feed them all either. Silverfish spreads his hands. We're calling this meeting to answer exactly that question. We need protocols. Rules. Something all our clans agree to follow. For the next 5 hours, you negotiate. It's exhausting. 4 chiefs, 4 different priorities, 4 different fears. But gradually, a structure emerges. The alliance protocols take shape slowly. First decision, refugees will be evaluated in waves. Small groups under 20 people can petition individual clans for refuge. Larger groups must be evaluated by the alliance collectively. Representatives from each clan vote on acceptance and settlement locations. Second decision, a central staging area will be established. Refugees arriving from the north will be directed to this location, given temporary shelter and food, and evaluated over a 10-day period. This prevents desperate refugees from raiding out of immediate starvation, while allowing the alliance to assess their intentions. Third decision, burden sharing. Each clan contributes to the central staging area based on their capacity. The River Clan, being prosperous, contributes more food. Your clan, with the cliff dwellings, contributes more defensible shelter. The Mesa Clan contributes scouts and early warning systems. The Scorpion Clan contributes warriors for security. High Cloud makes a sharp observation. This assumes the refugees will cooperate with being evaluated. What about those who don't wait, who just push south and raid as they go? Then we defend, you say quietly, together, combined warriors from all clans, responding as a unified force. Stone Scorpion nods. That's the advantage of alliance. Alone, my clan has 50 warriors. Together, we have more than 200. That's an army. Silverfish writes the agreements on birch bark, using charcoal. Writing is rare. Most agreements are oral, sealed by oath. But this is complex enough to require written record. The symbols are simple. Pictographs representing each clan, lines showing connections, marks indicating obligations. By sunset, the alliance charter is complete. Each chief marks it with blood the old way. You press your thumb against the birch bark after cutting it with your stone knife. Your blood smears across the symbols, binding you, the 4-clan alliance. That's what Silverfish names it. Formal enough to carry weight, simple enough to remember. What about the Eagle Clan? High Cloud asks. They're fools to stay out, but they're also our neighbors. We offer them membership, you suggest, but we don't wait for them. They can join when they're ready. The others agree. You return to your cliff dwellings as the sun sets, traveling with Gray Fox and 2 warriors. The journey back feels lighter somehow. You've accomplished something significant, not just survival, but proactive preparation. Your grandmother would approve. Gray Fox walks beside you in comfortable silence for most of the journey. Finally, he speaks. Do you trust them? Stone Scorpion? His clan just tried to kill us. Trust is complicated, you reply. Do I trust him to uphold an oath sworn in blood before witnesses? Yes. Do I trust him to like me? No, trust isn't one thing, Gray Fox. It's many small things, each evaluated separately. That's very philosophical. I'm a chief. Philosophy is part of the job. He laughs, a rare sound from him. It's good to hear. When you reach home, your family greets you. Rain Blossom has prepared food. Corn soup with dried meat, one of your favorites. Little Fox wants to hear about the meeting. Asks 100 questions. You answer what you can, simplifying for his young mind. Tall Pine listens quietly, absorbing everything. He's learning to be a leader by watching you. That's how it always works. After the meal, you sit outside your dwelling, looking at stars. The night is clear, cool, beautiful. Rain Blossom sits beside you, her head on your shoulder. You did something important today, she says quietly. Maybe, or maybe I just bought us a little more time. Time is important. Time lets children grow, lets corn ripen, let people find hope. She pauses. You carry so much weight. Sometimes I forget. You're just a man. Just a man with an impressive title. You joke weakly. You're more than the title. You're wise, patient, kind when you can be, hard when you must be. Our people are lucky to have you. You don't know how to respond to that, so you just hold her. She's right. You are tired. Being chief means carrying everyone's fears along with your own. But nights like this, with family clothes and stars overhead, you remember why the weight is worth bearing. The first test of the alliance comes sooner than expected, only 3 weeks after the charter is signed. High Cloud's scouts report a large group moving south through the northern passes. Not 20 people, not 40, 160 souls, mostly women and children, but with 40 warriors among them. The message arrives at dawn. You're barely awake when the Mesa Clan runner reaches your dwelling, breathless from running through the night. High Cloud says the northern group will reach the staging area in 2 days. She requests all chiefs meet there tomorrow to evaluate. You dress quickly, mind already calculating. 160 refugees. That's more than your entire clan. They can't all be integrated. There isn't enough food, water, or housing. But turning away women and children to starve feels wrong. Grey Fox organizes a traveling party. You, him, Shell Song representing the women's perspective, and 10 warriors. You'll need the warriors. 160 desperate people are unpredictable. The journey to the staging area takes most of a day. The Alliance has established it in a natural amphitheater between territories. A box canyon with one entrance, water from a spring. Enough space for temporary camps. When you arrive, you see High Cloud's warriors have already begun organizing the space, marking areas for cooking fires, water collection, sleeping areas. Silverfish arrives shortly after you with an enormous supply caravan, and he's brought 30 large baskets of food, corn, beans, dried meat, dried fruit. His commitment to the Alliance shows in his actions. Stone Scorpion arrives last with 20 warriors. He looks even older than he did at the Alliance meeting, but his warriors are young and disciplined. They immediately position themselves at the canyon entrance, security, preventing refugees from leaving. Before evaluation is complete, High Cloud briefs you all. They call themselves the Ash People. Their territory burned, massive wildfire, triggered by lightning and drought conditions. They've been walking for 2 moons, eating what they could forage. They're starving, but they've maintained discipline. No raiding, no violence. Their chief is a woman named Smoke Dancer. The Ash People arrive the next morning, a long line of exhausted humanity, straggling into the canyon. You watch from above as they enter, women carrying children, elderly, helped along by the young, warriors with weapons but no aggression. They look like what they are, survivors of catastrophe. Their chief, Smoke Dancer, walks at the head of the column. Even from a distance, you can see she carries herself with dignity, despite obvious exhaustion. She's younger than you expected, perhaps 30 winters. Her people follow her with the kind of loyalty that's earned, not inherited. The 4 Alliance chiefs descend to meet her at the canyon floor. Up close, Smoke Dancer is striking, tall for a woman with intelligent eyes that assess everything. Her face and arms are marked with burn scars, fresh enough to still be pink. The wildfire didn't just destroy her territory. It marked her personally. I am Smoke Dancer, chief of the Ash People, she says formally. We seek refuge and alliance. We offer our labor, our skills, and our warriors in exchange for land to settle and time to rebuild. Direct. No begging, no pleading, presenting it as a potential exchange rather than charity. You respect that approach. Silverfish speaks first. 160 people is a significant number. Our alliance has resources, but they're not unlimited. We don't expect you to carry us, Smoke Dancer replies. Give us marginal land, territory you don't use. We'll make it work. The Ash People have survived worse than poor soil. Stone Scorpion grunts. Bold words. You have 40 warriors, you said? 42. All experienced. We've fought off raiders, predators, and each other during lean times. We know battle. High Cloud asks the crucial question, why should we trust you? You're desperate. Desperate people make dangerous neighbors. Smoke Dancer meets her eyes steadily. Because we're not just desperate. We're grateful to still be alive. We've seen what fire does. It destroys everything without mercy. You're offering us a chance to rebuild. We won't waste it with betrayal. That would dishonor our dead. The 4 Alliance chiefs withdraw to confer privately. You climb to a ledge overlooking the canyon, where you can see the Ash People settling into temporary camp below. They organize quickly, fire pits dug, children gathered in groups, water rationed carefully. These are people who know how to survive. What do you think? Silverfish asks. You consider carefully before speaking. I think she's telling the truth. Her people have discipline. They're not raiders. They're farmers and builders who lost everything. They could be assets. 160 mouths to feed, Stone Scorpion points out. Through winter, 42 additional warriors? You counter. That nearly doubles our alliance military strength. If the refugee crisis becomes as bad as we fear, we'll need those warriors. High Cloud adds, my scouts say the Ash people's territory was prime land before the fire. They had irrigation systems, terraced fields, permanent structures. These aren't nomads. They know how to build civilization. Once they recover, they could contribute significantly. Silverfish strokes his chin. There's unclaimed territory in the eastern canyons. Difficult land, but arable with work. We could settle them there. Close enough to integrate into the alliance, far enough to maintain their autonomy. You nod. That's sensible. They build their own settlement, produce their own food. Eventually, we provide support during the transition period. Maybe 1 year of supplemental food, materials for building. After that, they're expected to be self-sufficient. Stone Scorpion surprises you by agreeing immediately. Good plan. We need the warriors. My clan is mostly old men and young boys right now. I lost too many in various conflicts. Fresh warriors, even refugee warriors, strengthen us all. High Cloud has one more concern. What about their chief? Smoke Dancer is young, unproven. Will the Alliance accept a woman chief as an equal partner? Silverfish laughs. Cloud, you're a woman chief. You just asked if we'd accept a woman chief. She smiles slightly. I wanted to see if anyone would object. Good, then we're unanimous. You look at each chief in turn. They all nod. Unanimous. You confirm. The Ash people join the alliance. Now it's the 5-clan alliance. You return to the canyon floor to deliver the decision. Smoke Dancer waits with her core council. 5 people, mix of elders and warriors. Her expression is carefully neutral, but you can see tension in her shoulders. This decision determines whether her people survive or die slowly over the coming winter. The 4-clan alliance has made a decision. You begin formally, then you pause, letting tension build for just a moment. We accept the Ash people into the alliance. Welcome to the 5-clan alliance. The relief that washes over Smoke Dancer's face is profound. Her shoulders drop, her eyes close briefly. One of her elders, an old woman with completely white hair, begins to cry silently. You understand. They've been carrying impossible weight, and suddenly it's shared. Thank you, Smoke Dancer says, voice rough with emotion. You won't regret this. We'll hold you to that, Stone Scorpion says, but not unkindly. Here are the terms. You outline the settlement plan. Eastern Canyon Territory, 1 year of food support, declining over time. Materials for building wood, stone, tools, integration into Alliance defense systems, full voting rights in Alliance decisions after 6 months of good standing. Smoke Dancer listens intently, nodding. The Eastern Canyons, I've heard of them, difficult terrain, very difficult. High Cloud confirms. Rocky, limited flat land, cold in winter. But there's water and soil. You'll have to work hard. We're not afraid of hard work. We're farmers. Show us land and water, we'll make food grow. The formalities take another hour. Oaths are sworn, hands clasped. The sacred smoke ceremony performed. Old Spider appears. You didn't even know he'd traveled with you. And performs the blessing. The Ash people are officially integrated into the alliance. As the ceremony concludes, Smoke Dancer approaches you privately. Chief Turquoise, she says quietly, I know what you did. You advocated for us. I could tell by how quickly the decision came, how fair the terms were. Thank you. How could you tell? I'm a chief. I recognize another chief's work. She pauses. If you ever need anything from the Ash people, you have only to ask. That's a personal oath, chief to chief. You nod, accepting personal bonds between chiefs. These are what hold alliances together when stress tears at the formal agreements. The next 3 months are consumed by helping the Ash people establish their settlement. You personally lead 3 expeditions to the Eastern Canyons, scouting locations, evaluating resources, planning layouts. It's exhausting work on top of your regular duties as chief. But it's also necessary. The 5-clan alliance is only as strong as its weakest member. If the Ash people fail, the alliance fails. The site you finally choose is a long canyon with a permanent spring and southern exposure. The southern exposure matters. It means more sunlight in winter, warmer temperatures, longer growing seasons. The canyon walls provide shelter from northern winds. It's not perfect, but it's workable. Smoke Dancer proves to be as capable as she claimed. She organizes her people with military precision. Teams are formed: construction team, farming team, hunting team, water management team. Everyone has a role. Even children contribute, gathering stones for building or kindling for fires. Your people and the other alliance clans provide support. The River Clan sends builders who understand irrigation. The Mesa Clan sends stone workers. The Scorpion Clan sends warriors to hunt and provide security. While the Ash people are vulnerable, your clan contributes tools and your own expertise in cliff-dwelling construction. The Ash people decide to build partially into the canyon walls, learning from your success. You make the journey to the Ash settlement every 10 days, checking progress, solving problems, mediating disputes. It becomes routine. Wake at dawn, travel to Eastern Canyons, work all day, travel home, collapse exhausted. Rain Blossom worries. "You're spreading yourself too thin," she says one night. "You have responsibilities to our people too." She's right. Your own clan's needs have taken second priority to alliance obligations. Fields need planning for next season. Young warriors need training, social disputes need mediation, but these things can wait. The Ash people's survival cannot. A few more months, you tell her. Once they're established, it gets easier, and then the next crisis comes. That's how it works with alliances, isn't it? Always someone needing help. You don't have a good answer for that because she's right. Winter arrives early and hot. By the time the first snows fall, the Ash people have basic structures, dwellings carved into the canyon walls, covered with wood and hide. Not luxurious, but enough to survive. They've planted winter crops, beans and squash, that can handle cold. The harvest won't come until spring, but at least they're in the ground. The Alliance food supplies are tested. You've contributed 20 large baskets of corn to the Ash people, as promised. The River Clan has contributed 30. The Mesa Clan sent dried meat. Even the Scorpion Clan, not known for generosity, sent 10 baskets of beans. But it's still not quite enough. The Ash people ration carefully, but 160 mouths consume food faster than any chief wants to admit. By midwinter, Smoke Dancer sends word they need more food, or people will start dying. This triggers the first real alliance crisis. Stone Scorpion refuses to provide more. "We gave what we promised. They need to make do." Silverfish is willing to help, but his clan's supplies are also depleting faster than expected. A cold winter means people eat more, burn more wood for heat, consume supplies at accelerated rates. High Cloud is pragmatic. If the Ash people starve, we've wasted everything we've already invested. Better to provide more food now than watch them die and lose the Alliance credibility. You find yourself in the middle, trying to broker compromise. The council meeting stretches for hours, voices rising, tempers flaring. This is what alliance means. Shared decisions, shared burdens, shared frustrations. Finally, you propose a solution. Each clan contributes 5 additional baskets. Not as gift, but as loan. The Ash people repay it from their first 3 harvests. 1 basket owed for each basket given. We're investing in their future, not just feeding them. The loan structure appeases Stone Scorpion's objections. The repayment timeline is generous enough for the Ash people to accept. The compromise holds. When you deliver the decision to Smoke Dancer, she looks relieved but also troubled. We'll repay every kernel she promises, but Chief Turquoise, we're creating debt. Debt creates resentment, even between allies. Better debt than death, you reply. You'll repay it. Your people will thrive. In 5 years, this crisis will be a story grandparents tell children. Just a hard winter that was survived. Nothing more. Spring arrives like a promise kept up. The snows melt, water flows, the earth warms. The Ash people's winter crops yield a modest but real harvest. Not abundance, but survival. More importantly, they plant spring crops, corn, beans, squash, the 3 sisters as the ancestors taught. You visit the Eastern Canyon settlement, and barely recognize it. In 5 months, the Ash people have transformed bare rock into a functioning community. Dwelling structures line the canyon walls. Irrigation channels carry water from the spring to terraced fields. Children play in the settlement plaza. Smoke from cooking fires rises in peaceful columns. Smoke Dancer greets you with genuine warmth. Chief Turquoise. Come, see what we've built. She gives you a tour. Everything is practical, nothing wasted. The dwellings are small but well insulated. The fields are modest but efficiently laid out. The storage structures are carefully protected from rodents and weather. These are people who understand that survival depends on details. What impresses you most is the community structure. The Ash people have maintained their social cohesion despite catastrophe and displacement. Elders are respected, children are educated, labor is shared fairly. This isn't a desperate refugee camp anymore. It's a functioning clan. You've done well, you tell Smoke Dancer. Better than I expected. We had help. Good teachers, fair terms, hope. She pauses. That's what you gave us more than anything. Hope. When we arrived, we were walking corpses. Now we're alive again. As you prepare to leave, Smoke Dancer stops you. The Alliance Council meeting next month. We'll be there. Full members, ready to contribute, not just receive. The Ash people are ready to carry their weight, you believe her. The Alliance started as 4 clans, protecting themselves against coming crisis. Now it's 5 clans, stronger together than any could be alone. The refugee crisis you feared hasn't fully materialized yet. Just small groups, manageable numbers. But when it does come, you'll be ready. The journey home takes most of a day. Gray Fox rides with you as always. He's quiet for most of the trip, then speaks. You saved them. The Ash people, they would have died without the Alliance. The Alliance saved them, not me. The Alliance exists because you built it. Don't pretend otherwise. You don't argue. Maybe he's right. Maybe that's what leadership is. Creating structures that let people save each other. 2 years pass. The 5-clan alliance becomes a permanent institution. The feared massive refugee crisis does come, not all at once, but in waves. Groups of 20, 50, 100 people fleeing failed territories in the north. The alliance handles each group systematically, evaluation, acceptance, or directed elsewhere. Settlement support when accepted, integration protocols. Some groups join successfully, like the Ash people. Others prove problematic and are asked to leave. One group tries to raid the Mesa clan territory after being denied entry. The alliance responds with combined military force. 200 warriors descending on 40 raiders. The raiders flee. Word spreads. The 5-clan alliance is not to be trifled with. You're older now? 44 winters, which makes you old by any standard. Your knee hurts constantly. New gray streaks appear in your hair every season. You move more carefully, speak more slowly, but your mind remains sharp. Tall Pine is 26 now, a warrior of reputation. He leads patrols, commands respect, shows judgment beyond his years. Morning Star serves as your second in command, handling daily clan administration while you focus on alliance matters. The succession is clear. When you die or step down, Morning Star will lead. And after him, perhaps Tall Pine, the continuity of leadership secured. Tonight, you sit outside your dwelling, watching sunset paint the cliffs red gold. Rain Blossom sits beside you, her hair now more gray than black. Little Fox, not so little anymore at 23, has married and given you a grandchild. The baby's laughter echoes from a nearby dwelling. We did it, Rain Blossom says quietly. We survived. We built something lasting. You think about all that's happened, the siege, the war, the alliance, the refugees, the endless negotiations, compromises, hard decisions, the men you killed, the people you saved, the structures you built. We survived. You agree, that's what matters. Our people are fed, protected, part of something larger than ourselves. The children have futures. She takes your hand. Her skin is wrinkled now, spotted with age, but her grip is still strong. What do you think the ancestor people would say about what we've done? You look at the ancient cliff dwellings carved into the rock by people whose names no one remembers. They survived their crises. You've survived yours. In 1,000 years, maybe no one will remember Chief Turquoise or the 5-clan alliance. But the structures will remain. The alliances will echo forward. The children will carry the wisdom. I think you say slowly, they would say, we honored them. We survived. We adapted. We endured. That's all anyone can do. The sun sinks below the horizon. Stars emerge, the same stars the ancestor people watched. You sit with your wife, listening to your grandchild's laughter, and feel something rare for a chief. Peace. Tomorrow will bring new challenges. It always does. But tonight, for this moment, there is only gratitude for battles. 1. People saved, and a life spent in service to something greater than yourself. The turquoise pendant rests against your chest, warm from your body, your grandmother's gift, your father's legacy. Soon, Morning Star's burden, the chain of chiefs continues, as it always has, as it always will. You close your eyes and breathe the desert air, tasting dust and sage and time itself. You are Chief Turquoise. You survived, your people survived, and that in the end is everything. So there you have it. Chief Turquoise's story, a man who faced war with courage, chose peace with wisdom, and built alliances that outlasted his own life. In the ancient Southwest, 800 years before Columbus, people survived through cooperation, adaptation, and leaders who understood that true strength isn't about domination. It's about creating systems where everyone can thrive. The 5-clan alliance continued for generations after Chief Turquoise's death, exactly as he'd hoped. The cliff dwellings still stand today, silent witnesses to the lives lived within them. Chiefs whose names we'll never know made impossible decisions, bore unbearable burdens, and somehow created communities that endured. Sleep well, knowing that humanity has always found ways to survive the impossible. We've done it before. We'll do it again. Tomorrow's challenges wait. But to tonight, rest, sweet dreams,